Hey everyone, it's your favorite host Marcus of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today we're going to have some fun today this episode. We're going to talk about relationships. And I have the man here today with me, Mr. Thang. And he's going to help us get to a better place and talk about some of the topics that are really that men are struggling with just being men and courtship. And we seem to be drifting apart. We seem to be getting away from dating and relationships and courtships. But me and Mr. Thang here, I have the expert here today, and he's gonna pop some bubbles and pop some myths for us today. So you don't want to miss 1 second of this dynamic speaker. Here we go. Welcome to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. If you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Marcus of the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today I am bringing to the stage Mr. Thang. He is known as the healthy dating coach. This man is only 22 years old, and he teaches and coaches and mentors people about dating and relationships and he helps inspire to make positive impact by teaching healthy dating tips and strategies in the 21st century, in the modern age, right? So if you're traditional, we're going to talk about some traditional concepts because some of that is applicable too. But he's also going to talk about more so to speaking to dating today in the 21st century. This man here, help me welcome him to the stage, Mr. Thang. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. How are you?
Absolutely. I'm doing amazing. Thank you for the introduction, Marcus. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother. You are jumping into some hot water, sir. I don't understand why anyone would want to talk about relationships. Relationships are crazy. Men are going this way. Women are going this way, sir. Yeah. You have an incredible mind, and you can do anything. What got you started in teaching and coaching and mentoring in dating realm?
Yeah, so like many others, there's that concept of modern day loneliness. And really, I knew that, growing up as a kid, I overcame a lot of struggles, a lot of insecurities, a lot of challenges myself and stereotypes and stuff like that. But as a kid, I thought that, being that I'm short and I'm also Asian, right? Being that I'm like 5 feet 4.5, right? So about 5 feet 4.5, I don't have 6 feet. I don't have six figures. I don't have a six pack right now. I thought that I could never attract a girlfriend. I thought that I was going to be lonely for the rest of my life, and I was also really insecure. So I spent a lot of my youth, really just educating myself and studying and really dating relationships. And I, built myself up over time, built my confidence, my charisma, my social skills and all that to where, I learned how to date. And I, at first I learned a lot of toxic things. I used to be a frat boy, used to live in a fraternity house. But then from there, I used to be a part of hookup culture and all that. But from there, I learned from my mistakes and, I learned the importance of healthy relationships. And now I kind of just want to, inspire others and teach others, how to, attract, a healthy relationship without going through a lot of the toxic things that I went through.
Ooh, that is so good. So good. So, and I think we all share some of those same experiences. We're going through a lot of toxicity and we're all kind of navigating the dating arena and we're all just it's all confusing because you got some people who are adapting well to the dating culture and you got some people that are just struggling. And so, yeah. And I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. It's like confusing. Yeah. It's like, do I need a six pack? Right. And that's how Gentleman Style Podcast came to be is kind of like, I'm not a gangster. I was never a gangster. I was a horrible thug. Yeah. I made a terrible thug. So if I was dating that one lady that was like, I need someone that can protect me, girl, we both need to run. We both need to run right now as fast as we can because I'm not protecting any of us. But now I'm a little bigger. Now I'm a little solid. Hit the gym, but now it's better. Sir, how many relationships have you been in yourself personally? Yes. Can you share the number or your body count is what it's called?
So I don't share my body count, like how many sexual partners I've had. I don't. That's something when I was younger, dude. Like when I tell you, when I was younger, like I used to be, like really naive, right? So I would, I had there's this concept called the roster, and I was like obsessed with getting a roster of women, and I used to do that kind of stuff, but now I don't really show
Player,
that.
you were a
Hey,
player. I'm sorry.
I just, I used to be a frat boy, right? I used to be the nice guy and the bad boy stereotype. But I have had three serious relationships. My first relationship lasted about 6 months, on and off for about 3 months. It started off healthy, but then it became toxic because we met on Tinder and all that. But my second relationship, it lasted almost 2 years. It was a really healthy relationship, but then with everything with lockdown and everything, there was anxiety and depression on my end, and just it ended up like I failed, right? And but then I dedicated 8 months of my life really to just learning from my failures. Why did she break up with me and all that, right? And going through the healing process. And then from that, I then started dating my current girlfriend. She's absolutely amazing. And we've been dating for about 7 months. And I don't know, like, it's just been an absolutely phenomenal relationship. I would consider it very healthy. And we just been, I don't know, we've both learned a lot from our own mistakes. And I've definitely learned a lot from my past mistakes.
And that's so huge, right? And that's the goal, right? We should be learning from our past relationships. If you're not learning from your past relationships, you're doomed to repeat them. And I'm gonna cheat. I'm
Yeah.
gonna surprise him here today. There is a picture of him. Is I'm hoping this is your current girlfriend. This is this
Yes.
is your current girlfriend, right? They look
Yes.
extremely happy. That is a good shot, man. That is a
I
good
appreciate
picture.
it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So this
Mhm.
is not the Tinder hookup. This was not her.
No, 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 no. Yeah, that
Okay.
was the first girlfriend. But yeah, this is my girlfriend Jordan. We've been dating for about 7 months. A lot of people tell me she looks like Amy Adams. A lot of guys tell me like she's out of my league or whatever. Like that, I don't look like Henry Cavill. I'm like, nah, man. Like that's my girlfriend. I mean, and I've, like she's an amazing woman. Of course, she's beautiful, of course, but she's an amazing woman. And in my opinion, she's a woman of character as well. That's something very important.
Super dope. Super dope. I love that. I love. Look at them. Oh my god, they're so cute. And who the heck had the nerve to sit there and tell you that she's out of your league, bro? That's horse manure, man. I'm glad that you got a good one on your side.
Hmm.
That is
No, for
beautiful.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
man.
she's also like an inch or two taller than me. So like that's something to think about as well. Date, how do you
She's
date a woman
taller
that's
than
taller
you.
than you? Yes.
You got a taller woman, bro. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still trying to get me a little. Hey Moya, what's going on? I'm still trying to pull me a little Amazonian. So, what is the one problem that you see happening that men and women are just not doing? What are you seeing in relationships that's
Yeah.
just not working out?
Man, there's so many things in modern day society, but really, we've just been really pulled apart. Like there's a lot of toxic things out there that's pushing apart men and women. Stuff like all men do this or all men do that, and then on the flip side, men they also say like all women do this or all women do that. It's just really, we're really polarized against each other. So one big thing would definitely be communication, but also really we've lacked an understanding, like we've lacked empathy for each other. That's something really important.
Whew. Woo. What's it called? The cancellation culture. Cancel. We are
Culture.
so quick to just,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like this. I don't like your toes. You got one too many toes for me. I'm done with you. Right? Right? It's like it's quick. There's no
Mhm.
empathy. There's no empathy. There's no room for anything. Thank you, Moya. It's so true. We have no
Mhm.
room for any kind of just, hey man, I understand you. Let's talk about this. Let's work through this together. And there is a point, right? There is a tipping point. When is there a point where a point of no return in a relationship? When do you know a relationship should end?
It's tough, but chances are, if you have, like what I like to say is, if you think that you need to end a relationship, if you feel unsafe, of course that's important. But if you feel like you're better off not being in the relationship, if it's doing you more harm than good, and if you've been thinking about ending the relationship for a while, chances are you probably should leave. And that's something to keep in mind as guys. What I've noticed is that women will actually break up with us mentally in their minds before they actually physically do it in person.
Woo! I hate that. Don't you hate that? It's like, tell me what I did wrong. No, I told you
Yeah.
6 times before. Like, no, you didn't. You told me in your head 6 times when you slammed the door in the kitchen counter and the cabinets. That's
Mhm.
not communication. You gotta
Yeah.
tell me that I'm messing up. Because what's normal to me, I may not realize that's really a striking a chord with you. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, Moy. I'm gonna put Moya back up there. Communication, man. Effective
Yes.
communication. And
Mhm.
Miss Fallon Ray got it on the head. Effective
Absolutely.
communication, effective for an understanding. That almost sounds like communicating not just to speak, but to listen. Um,
Yes.
Sir, Mr. Thang, why did your past relationships not work out?
Yeah,
What was
absolutely.
it?
So
Yeah,
yeah, so my first relationship, I just, like I was learning a lot of toxic advice out there. I studied everything, on the internet and all that. And also I didn't really, I had like my biological father was not a very good man, right? So my parents were in a toxic relationship. And I had subconsciously learned a lot of, like his attitudes and behaviors. And although I didn't want to become like him, I didn't like him, I didn't like the way that he treated my mom, like you when you're in that headspace, it just comes out of you, right? And it goes into conflict resolution. But what happened was, like when I was in my first relationship, dude, like I was just focused on, just running from my problems at home. I had a lot of family issues. So I just was focused on just having sex with as many women as possible. I was just a part of hookup culture, and I was working like 60, 80 hours a week. I was also pre-med. I was also in a in a frat, so I was constantly partying. I never slept. So then, obviously, like no matter how much I wanted that relationship to work, it's just I had too many outside stressors that
yeah.
prevented, that first relationship. Yeah.
Facts. Now, I'm sorry, I'm still stalking your page. So I'm
Go
looking
ahead.
at this man and he's courting. This is his website, y'all. Look at this.
Mhm.
Look at how in love. This is courtship in the 21st century, right? He's treating her,
Yeah.
he's loving on her. This is how you get back to this. This is where we need to get back to. This is what you
Mhm.
don't say anymore, right? And so
Yeah.
as you were speaking, it drew me to your page because I wanted this is what you don't see enough. She looks happy, they look happy and in
Yeah.
love. What why my past relationships, I it's almost night and day. They seemingly don't work out. And now as I
Mhm.
mature, as I get older, I kind of seem to just want to just cut the umbilical a lot quicker and not linger
Mhm.
on in the relationship too long. And that's what you spoke to. Um
Mhm.
you and kudos to you, man, to acknowledge that your father wasn't the best example, right?
Mhm.
So who
Yeah.
wasn't a good example in your life? Who stood out to you? Who did you emulate the most?
Who was not a good example or who was a
Who
good
was
example?
who was a male good example in your life
I
that showed
really
you, man?
That's the thing. I really didn't have any good male examples in my life. So I went to YouTube, man. Like and not to get too deep, not to get like a sob story or anything, but
Get deep, get
I
deep.
like and not to compare my struggles with anybody else, but as a kid I was a Burmese war refugee, right? But I was also a survivor of child abuse. But like growing up, I didn't have you like in the Asian community, like you can't just go out and go to your friend's house or anything. So what happened was I was extremely isolated in the home, and I um I was just so lonely, so I would just go to YouTube University, man. I just educated myself, going on YouTube, looking up guys like Teaching Men's Fashion, Jose Zuniga, or like Ali Abdul. I looked up to guys on the internet, and I also came across a lot of toxic advice out there. There were good examples and bad examples, but yeah, I that's my role models were guys on the internet on YouTube.
I was waiting for you to say Derek Jackson. I was gonna cut the show. I was gonna end the show. If you had said Derek Jackson was your role model, man, I was about to
Yeah.
cut this
I'm
whole
a
this.
I'm gonna be real with you, man. When I was younger, I thought Derek Jackson, like I thought he was the guy. I'm gonna be honest. I When I was younger, I thought that was the stuff. Yeah, and I learned from it.
Yeah. Now look at
Yeah.
him selling his books, making millions of dollars. Disgusting. Terrible. But yeah, I mean that is huge. That
Hmm.
I think media has played a significant role. I grew up in that age, like I said, where what I saw on television drew me in, and so I saw a lot of rap artists and women being drawn to rappers and gangsters and thugs. And like I said, I tried my hand at being a thug and it didn't work out. The saggy pants, it didn't look good. It didn't work right. I kept falling down. It didn't look. Tell us about the name of your company, AMQF, Healthy Dating
Mhm,
for Men, and what does that
mhm.
stand for? And what made you start your company, your brand?
Yeah. So I started my YouTube channel, just like, I had been inspired by, other men growing up. I noticed that there was never a guy that, was short and Asian that was considered attractive, right? So I was like, hey, I'm gonna break all the stereotypes. If there's no short, like if there's no sexy Asian guys that are short, I'm gonna be that guy, right? So I was sick with yeah, I was sick back in December when I first started my YouTube channel. And I was just really lonely. I had a girlfriend, but like like you can't like actually see her, and I was like bedridden for like a couple of weeks. So I just started my YouTube channel. I just started recording videos, just like unedited videos, just talking about different things. And one of the main ones was a positive Asian male representation. That's something that I really wanted to spread because if you look at the media, especially the mainstream over the past like couple decades, Asian men have been extremely emasculated by the media. You never see really like attractive Asian men, right? You've got things like The Hangover, really bad representation. So from there, what I did was, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a difference. So then I started my channel, uh, talking first about positive Asian male representation without bashing women or other ethnicities. But then from there, it became more about dating and relationships. And then I kind of asked my girlfriend, like, what's a good name? Because I didn't want it to make it about Asian men dating a specific ethnicity, and I didn't want it to make it just about Asian men. So there's AMWF, Asian male white female, AMLF, Asian male Latino female, AMBF, Asian male black female. So I wanted something that wasn't about ethnicities per se. So my girlfriend helped me come up with the name Asian male quality female. And so
Ooh.
AMQF, it's a brand, yeah. So it's really my life journey. It represents the things that I've overcome and stuff, but really in a simple term, like AMQF is about self improvement of the underdogs, really just sharing my life journey.
Ooh, that was good. That was good. Asian male quality female. I like that. I like that because
Yeah,
not because if you said Asian male, seeking female, that could be anything. That opens
hmm,
up Pandora's box.
yeah,
That you could you could really get kind of
yeah,
whatever. And I want
hmm,
to give a big shout out to Leona. She's a VIP sponsor of the show. We love you. We thank you. We appreciate you for being a VIP sponsor of the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. So thank you so much for being here
hey, what's
with
going on,
us.
Leona?
Love you, love you, love you, love you. Do you believe in online dating? Is that
Yeah,
something that needs to just go away? Should we go back to traditional dating where we just need to just stay and find people in our local community? Or should
yeah.
should we open the door Pandora's box? I'm gonna call it again. Should we open Pandora's box to online dating and the risks there?
Yeah. So the thing about online dating, like I want to say that online dating does, I want to say that, but unfortunately it's become more big and more popular. So online dating does work. It can work. But I always recommend my guys focus on your in-person skills, your interpersonal skills, focus on building that up because online dating does work right off the bat. Stay off of Tinder. You can use stuff like Hinge, and there's like other apps out there, but stay off of Tinder. And then really focus on your personal skills. Learn how to communicate with people, your social skills. Learn how to build relationships with your own family and friends, right? And really focus on that. And when you can do that, you can have better relationships because if you really focus on building the most aesthetic profile on Tinder or something like that, if you just focus on that, you're building a construction. It's not really you, right? And I don't want guys to just have relationships on the online. I want you to actually have an in-person girlfriend. So that's why we focus on in-person skills instead of just online.
Mm. Love it, love it, love it. That's so true. That is so true. You are you bring some interesting perspective. I am open to online dating because I think it opens your horizons, right? It
Hmm.
opens you up because I think the person that is meant for you may not be in your zip code. So how do you
Hmm.
encounter yeah, men should focus on themselves, build yourself up, get yourself together, right? But then when the person God has for me is in Maryland, how am
Hmm.
I supposed to connect with her if I don't have a Tinder profile? And I'm not advocating for Tinder at all because
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
not the cream of the crop there. But how
Yeah.
am I supposed to connect with her?
So that's the thing, and that goes into long distance relationships. That's something that I don't recommend at all because it really just complicates things, and it also requires you to be extremely secure in your relationship, right? Because there's this fear of cheating and stuff like that. But what I recommend is always to go out into your community. Like no matter how big your city is, and like if your city is too small to where there's no women, you can always move to a city like maybe a little bit like closer that has maybe a bit more women there. Obviously, I don't want you to just move to like a whole different country, but like long distance relationships are very tough to manage, and there's a lot of insecurities and fears involved, and it complicates things.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would not live in a in a community where there were no women. Like what?
yeah,
Absolutely not.
yeah,
I would evacuate immediately. I would have to leave. I would have to leave immediately.
yeah.
Just no women ever. So
There's tons of
to
amazing women.
there is tons of amazing women, and again, it's so you're what do you recommend? How do I connect with? It's hard. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Long distance relationships are very very hard. So what does one do when you bump heads with that 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 young girl or that young boy, whoever flavor you're into? how do you how do you connect? Do you encourage them to come, move closer, or you move to them? Do you encourage anything like that, or talk to anything like that?
It depends. It depends. Like if you meet online, of course, you like it's just if you have long distance relationships, it's just like from the get-go it's going to cause a lot of issues in the longevity of the relationship, from what I've noticed. But if you really wanted to maintain a long distance relationship, what you would have to do is to establish clear communication and also boundaries, right? You're going to have to talk about like how are you going to have your dates, right? Is it going to be in virtually? How often are you going to have your dates? How are you going to talk to each other? And also, how often are you going to guys actually see each other in person? And it kind of depends on your love language, right? So if physical touch, right, is something that's incredibly important to you, a long distance relationship is really going to strain that. So you can definitely see each other in person and stuff like that, and establish like how often you guys are going to see each other, communication cadence and all. But what I would recommend is try to like just communicate it, because you're going to have to figure out who's gonna move where. Is it you moving to meet the girl, or is it the girl moving to meet you? And also, just you're gonna have to judge whether or not it's worth the stress, because I'll tell you, man, in most cases it's not worth it unless you can see yourself moving closer together within the next couple of months or years.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I got no pushback on that.
Yeah,
None.
it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes, especially if if you've never really met a girl in person, in your community, and you just meet that girl on the internet. It's like really cute. Like it's a tough pill to swallow. But there's also stuff like catfishing, right? There's a really good chance that that person you meet on the internet is not who they say they are.
It's a man, baby. It's a man. We have a question from our VIP sponsor, another VIP sponsor, Miss Nikki Brown. Thank you for your sponsorship.
Mhm.
We appreciate you. We adore you, Queen. This is for you. I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. She asks, "What advice do you have for women seeking a quality guy? What questions should she ask or we ask in seeking a
Yeah.
quality man?"
Yeah, so if you want to attract a quality guy, and this is, it all starts with yourself. It all starts with self improvement, right? So we have to think about, who is the kind of man that we're attracted to? What are the traits, or the woman, right? What are the traits of this person that we're attracted to? What do we want out of them? And we want to make sure that our expectations are not too high, right? So we have to be realistic with our expectations. But then from there, we want to go ahead and go to places that we would find that quality guy. Oftentimes, if you want a quality man, you're going to find him doing leadership activities, right? Volunteering, or for example, going like maybe he's involved in the church ministry, something like that. So that's a place that I recommend a lot of women to start. But also look out for red flags, and really like because women do have a really good intuition. Look out for red flags, but also have a bit of grace, right? Because guys aren't perfect, so look out for red flags. Look out for anything that really makes you feel like you're not okay with. If anything that he does is not okay with your values, right? That's something to keep in mind. But if you want a quality guy, you're gonna notice that a lot of like really good guys, like gentlemen, they will not go out of their way to flirt with every single woman. So you might have to make the first move. It doesn't mean you're going to make the first move for the rest of the relationship, but you might just have to, just say hello, ask him a question or something, because what you can do by literally just going out there and making the first move, you get to choose the man that, like courts you, right? Because you went and you made the first move.
Hold up. Stop everything. We are going to talk about that when we get back from this commercial break. I want to address that so badly. We got a quick commercial break. We got to pay some bills, y'all. We don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, some, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye.
Support for Gentleman Style Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers you precision engineering tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off free worldwide shipping with the code GENTSTYLE at manscaped.com.
Are back to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. If you missed it, I have Mr. Thangs. He spilled the tea on long distance relationships. Should you not entertain a long distance relationship? How he came to be and how he started his brand, Asian Men Seeking Quality Females, quality women. And he's a movement. He's on a mission to ensure that couples reconnect and reestablish that partnership, and we get back to what is important, which is working together and loving on one another. If you missed that, scroll back, go back and check him out. It is huge, phenomenal. But I can't let him get away with this. This brother said something unique. He said, ladies who are seeking quality men, you should consider making the first move. Did I hear you right, Mrs. Dag? Did you just say, all right, that gets a round of applause from me? And so you said that. So that breaks tradition, right? That breaks a huge stereotype that men should pursue first. Men should make the first move. Why should women consider? You said, can you repeat that? Why should women consider moving on a guy that they like?
So here's the beautiful thing, right? And what a lot of people don't think about is that, men, yes, we protect and provide. We're leaders, absolutely, but like good men, especially nowadays, are really worried about cancel culture and false allegations, right? And they also don't want to be known as creepy, right? They don't want to be creepy, and they don't want to be disrespectful. So the only guys that are really going to be flirting with like women are going to be like the bad boys, right? The guys that are just saying like I love you, you're beautiful to every single girl out there. So the guys that are really designed for relationships, right, like husband material, those guys are going to be off on the back burner, right? They're going to be like really not all out there. So if you're really reducing your chances if you're not introducing yourself to those guys, because they're afraid of being disrespectful, they're afraid of being creepy, and they're afraid of false allegations and stuff like that, right? So as a woman also, and it does break tradition, but it also kind of does it, right? Because if you think about it, and this is something that a very other popular like dating coach, a celebrity dating coach has mentioned in the past, but it's that concept of where back in the old days, right, women, they would choose their men by, like dropping their handkerchief. They walk past a guy and they would drop their handkerchief. And, what would happen is that, like, she knew what she was doing, but the guy was like, man, this is my moment. This is my chance to be chivalrous, right? And to do something, right? So it's like, hey, you'll pick up the handkerchief and you'll go to the woman, like, hey, madame, you dropped your handkerchief, right? And then he feels like he made the first move, but secretly the woman chose the man that she wanted to make the first move with.
That's old English. That's old English catfishing. So but that's good. That's good, right? Ladies, you can encourage a man to make the first move and not give up your sexuality, not give up your femininity. You can encourage a man to make the first move by just subtle hints. I always tell women, it's like a smile or a wink or a wave is not the first move, right? But it lets a man know that, hey, this is a safe space, this is a safe environment, and now I feel bolstered up to come up and approach you because I now know that it's safe. It's a light gesture, nothing fancy. Now I get to perform for you. Now I get to like save the day, and now I can get this handkerchief off the ground. I don't know, if y'all still walk with handkerchiefs, let me know, because I don't know what y'all drop. Y'all got stuff in y'all purses. Y'all got a whole kitchen sink. So I don't know if women still walk with handkerchiefs, but women, and you said it earlier too, it allows you to pick who you want to be with, right? A lot of women always complain all the time and say, oh, this guy is in my DM, I don't really care for him. Well, pick the guy that you want to approach you, right? The guy that you would like, he doesn't know that you're available. He doesn't know that you want him. How is he supposed to know that you're even open to that? And you said that earlier. That was huge. That's why it caught me off guard when you said it. You're like, you get to choose, because that's what men are doing. Men are choosing who they want, right? If I like you, I'm gonna approach you, or I should approach you. But also, too, ladies, if you see a guy that you like, let him know. Let it be known. There's nothing wrong with that. Huge.
And that also goes into like for women, right? It goes into proximity and making yourself available, like within the proximity of the man that you're interested in, right? So literally, so many things with this, but just having showing him signs of attraction, right? Indicators of interest, really, that hey, like, I'm interested in you. Just starting a conversation. It doesn't mean you're getting married, it doesn't mean you're going out on a date, but just asking like a little question shows him that, hey, like, there might be something here. But really, it's just like, if you don't go out and you introduce yourself to like the gentleman, right? What's going to happen is that, especially if you have what's called RBF, I'm sure you're familiar with it, perhaps. Like, if you look like like cold and stone, like faced, and like you don't want to talk to anybody, the only guys that are going to push against that are the bad boys, and they will chase, right? Because they want that, right? It's that dopamine hit, right? So the only guys that are going to get through to that cold exterior is the bad boys.
Yeah, because they're willing to tolerate the mean, the angry, the fight. They want to fight.
They thrive on that.
Yeah. So how do I attract the woman of my dreams? Because I don't have a six-pack. I don't have $1 million. I don't have, I'm working on it. I'm working on the six-pack. But how do I attract the woman that is for me, that I want to spend the rest of my life with, the wife that I'm seeking one day?
So yeah, so the way that I take it, it's a practical approach, right? I focus on being realistic, of course, and being very logical. Now, there's two aspects that I always teach, right? So there's self improvement first, and then good communication. I don't like to focus from the very beginning about flirting techniques or or stuff like that. Really, I focus on building yourself up as a man first, always. So then first is self improvement, and then we break down self improvement into the three pillars of dating success, is what I call it. So it always starts off with your physical appearance, right? And obviously, you've got a very nice looking shirt, you got the pop collar, absolutely amazing. And there's that saying, like a man in a well tailored suit is like a woman in lingerie, right? But so we always start off with the physical appearance, because that's the first thing anybody notices, is how you actually look. So it goes into your haircut, your style, the clothes you wear, but also your physique. And really important, this is something that a lot of people, men don't think about. Women are incredibly attracted to men with good hygiene. So you want to make sure your hygiene is on point. You're smelling at least clean, hopefully smelling kind of good, but not overdoing it. Yeah, so then we have that, right? So then from there, we take, it's the good looks, and then we go to social skills and social proof. That's incredibly important. So first, you want to learn how to talk to people, right? You can't talk to girls if you can't talk to guys, right? If you're attracted to women, but you don't know how to talk to men, like not in a flirty way, you're not going to succeed. So you have to learn how to, develop your social skills, learn how to talk to people, learn how to talk to strangers, and really just how to hold a conversation, how to manage a conversation, right? And then from there, we also learn about social dynamics and all that. But we learn about social dynamics, and then from there, we also want to establish social proof. Now, for example, and you don't need to have 1 million Instagram followers. You don't need to have $1 million. You don't need to have it like 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, on your podcast, or anything. But you do need to establish a level of social proof. And what happens with that social proof is it goes into the concept that women like to be around men that other women like to be around, and what you'll notice is women are attracted to men that other women are attracted to, right? So if you see a guy like me, or if you see like a guy that's considered not conventionally attractive, but he's dating, like a really attractive women, like women, what happened in a woman's brain is that, automatically it's kind of like a puzzle in her head. And she's like, wait, how is he with this girl? Like, if he's short, he's like not pretty, like he's not good looking, how's he with this girl that's so attractive? There must be something about him. He's got like that it factor or something, and it happens in their brain where it's like, it's a puzzle, I need to figure it out, and you become more attractive, right? Just by proxy. But just having friends, having female friends is another great indicator to women that you are a guy that's safe to be around, that that you don't just objectify women, that you don't treat women disrespectfully, that you might be husband quality, right? So that's good looks, social skills, social proof. And then we go into confidence and charisma. And confidence, the way that I take it, it's a very practical approach, and we do it by baby steps, right? So if you think about, for example, if this is, if you've been hosting podcasts, like for a good little while, but if it was your first time ever hopping on a podcast, right, ever speaking live, you might be a little bit, like more not as confident as you are right now, maybe a little bit more shy, and so on and so forth. You might be stuttering over your words. Or for example, if you were living in a place where you don't know anybody, you have no friends, you've never been there before, you might be really shy, right? So what I recommend is to find like your comfort zone, develop, find a couple places in the city that you feel really confident in, like maybe it's a park, maybe it's a restaurant, like your local watering hole, whatever it is. Get really comfortable there, develop, get some friends there, talk to people there, and you're going to feel more safe and comfortable there, so that when it comes and that you find a woman that you're attracted to, either in that area or you bring her on a date to that area, you're going to be in your comfort zone. It's like it's like being in your house versus being a guest. You just feel more comfortable because you've been there. And really you build it up with baby steps, right? If you've never talked to like pretty girls, first talk to your mom, first talk to your grandma, first talk to your cousins, right? Women that you aren't attracted to, and learn how to talk to women first. And then from there,
because they're not pretty.
No, because you're not attracted to them.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
It's all good, man. Yeah, but it's because you're not attracted to them, right? So there's less pressure. There's less pressure to get everything right. So then, good looks, social skills, social proof, confidence, and the last thing that we want to focus on, right, is charisma. And charisma, and it goes into learning how to flirt, learning how to like talk to girls, and also it goes into stuff like seduction. And seduction gets a bad rep, and it's okay to learn seduction, but when you can use seduction, it's only like, that's the rule that I have for my guys. You can only use things like seduction when you're in when you're in like a romantic relationship, right? It doesn't mean that you have to be married or anything, but you do have to be in a committed romantic relationship with a woman if you're going to use anything like that. And it goes into like seductions, like how you touch her, how you flirt with her, the things you say and stuff like that.
So not be the seduce or flirtation. That's why I was trying to think of what's the word, flirtatious. You can't be flirtatious with everybody. Is that the same
Exactly.
thing? Gotcha.
Exactly.
So this is only something she gets to experience
Exactly.
with me. This is only something
Yes.
she gets to enjoy with me. So
Yeah.
thank you. That was huge for breaking that down. Thank you for breaking
Absolutely.
that down. That is major. Gentleman Style Podcast host agrees with you. He agrees with
I
you.
like that.
He's all about seduction, I guess. Sir, you have been phenomenal on the show. This is fantastic. How can my audience connect with you? How can we grow with you? How can we learn? Oh, we got another question from our VIP sponsor, Ms. Nikki Brown. She said, I made the first move. I'm being courted long distance. We're discussing the future. What specific questions should I ask about our future and me relocating?
Yeah. So so if you are planning on going to meet this guy, something that I want you to consider is always, and this is something I have to emphasize for women incredibly, you have to be financially independent of your man, right? And I know it goes into tradition, like men are the breadwinners, that's of course important, but you have to be financially independent from your man. That's incredibly important. It doesn't mean that you have to make a ton of money, but you have to be able to leave the relationship if you decide that if the relationship is no longer healthy. And that comes from a guy that has seen what like toxic relationships are. That comes from a guy that has seen his own mom being pressured to stay in a relationship from like an abusive father, right? You have to be financially independent, but also you have to think about like like if obviously if you're giving something up to move to him, you also have to establish things like where are you going to live, right? What are the expectations there? You have to be very clear about these things, because a lot of times like if you just assume that he's going to be okay with you moving in, that's something that you have to be very careful about. A lot of times there's miscommunication, so be very clear. Hey, is it okay if I move in with you, right? Think about that. Think about the aspects of what rent is going to be like. Think about whether or not like if you're going to be able to find a job, right? And also think about if you're going to be able to have any friends where you're moving. That's really important. And also your access to your family. Those are things that I highly recommend. But also, like, really, it starts with finances for women. You have to be financially independent of your man.
I think she agrees with you. I think she agrees. She said he's dropping gems. That is a whole word. That is a super word. Thank you for that. Thank you for speaking on that. That's huge. Great question, Miss Nikki Brown. Sir, how can we connect with you? How can we learn more about you and the movement that you're on? The train has left the station, but clearly it's not too late to get on board. How can my audience connect and learn more with this movement you're on?
Yeah, so I'm Chungus. And AMQF, it's not just about Asian guys. It's just sharing my journey. So it's self-improvement of the underdogs. It's for everybody. But you can check me out on YouTube, AM2F Healthy Dating for Men, or you can check me out on my website, get a free consultation call with me if you're interested in working together. Just book in a call and go to healthydatingconsultation.com.
Love it. Check him out, y'all. This man is on a mission, helping prove and save relationships, and I'm sure he's going to gravitate to marriages one day after he pops the question. Wink wink, hint hint. I hope if his girl's watching, she's gonna see this. She'll be like, I put the bug out there for you, girl. I'm rooting for you. So,
man,
That is
Man, I'll
so
tell you a funny little story, man. Like,
please.
I broke my ring finger a couple years ago. Like, I do combat sports, right? So I broke my ring finger a couple of years ago. Kind of sprained it, but it's like a
Is
little
that
thing.
combat sports? What does
You know,
that mean? Was that
I do combat sports, so like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I
oh
used to wrestle, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, so what happened was, like my girlfriend, like, we kind of chatting, just messing around a little bit. I was like, hey, like I can't get, I just want to let you know I can't get married, right? Like I broke my finger, I can't get married. And she was like, you don't get out that easy. There's things you can get, right? She's a catch, man.
super dope. She is a catch. Great job pulling that, man. I'm rooting for you, and I hope to
Yeah.
get the invitation one day. When you fix your ring, you gonna put it on that stub. You gonna get it on that stubby finger. Absolutely,
No,
super
I
dope,
appreciate it,
man.
man. Absolutely.
Appreciate you. And just for a FYI, guys, that super sticker below, those donations, thank you, whoever you are. Thank you. Those donations help sponsor the show. So you can send super stickers that help support the show. That funding helps us get great guests like what you see here, Mr. Thang here on the show. So thank you for that super sticker. We appreciate the compensation. It helps. Sir, we gotta let you go. We gotta let this man go. He has couples and relationships to save. He is on a mission. He is the truth, and he is here to help save your relationship, our relationship, and change the world and make it better. I'm gonna put that website back up on the stage. Sir, I want to say, do you have any final words of encouragement for that young girl, that young boy out in the audience who's just too shy to make a move? What
Yeah.
final nuggets? You drop nuggets all show. Any final tips for that young boy or young girl?
Man, there's so many things, man. But what I always like to remember, right? Right now we're dealing with modern day loneliness. A lot of people are really lonely, right? And that's something even that I have faced my entire life. Is to always remember that we always have a genuine need for human connection. Everybody has a genuine need for human connection. Human beings are social creatures. That's why one of the worst forms of punishment is, solitary confinement. But something else that I believe heavily in is karma, right? So I tell everybody, treat others with respect and spread love, and it will come back to you, especially when you least expect it.
Ooh, good one. Dude, I wasn't expecting that. Was not staged at all, y'all. That was not planned for at all. Thank you, Mr. Thang. You have been phenomenal. I want to say this to you, brother. Don't ever quit. Don't ever give up. Continue to love on your girl and continue to give back, because we need more of it, right? We have gone away from loving each other. So thank you for being on the show today. Don't ever quit. We need you, man.
I appreciate it. It means a lot, Marcus.
Absolutely. And thank you all, my audience, for tuning into the Gentleman Style Podcast show. I hope this was helpful, and I hope this message helped inspire and helped ignite the passion back in your relationships, so we can get back to what COVID-19 seemingly took away from us, and that's the love. So get back to the love. Thank you all for tuning into the Gentleman Style Podcast show. Like I always end every show, take care of your friends, take care of your family, and always take care of business. This is Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast show, and Mr. Thang himself, the man, the myth, the legend, signing off. Love you guys. Bye.